Look, there's a lot of buzz right now about Ilya Topuria. The MMA world is warning him that moving up to lightweight to challenge Islam Makhachev is a massive mistake. They're saying even if this fearless Georgian gets his title shot, he doesn't stand a chance against the champion. But I've got some different thoughts on this. I think it might actually be the perfect move for him. Also, in today's video, I need to address a ridiculous accusation from one of our viewers. Plus, the UFC has totally let down Movsar Evloev. It's honestly frustrating to see, and we'll check out Alexander Volkanovski's really unusual training methods before his upcoming fight with Diego Lopez. There's so much more exciting news to cover. Listen, I'm not stupid, I know what I'm talking about here, so let's dive right in. Ilya Topuria has sent absolute shockwaves through the entire MMA world by giving up his UFC featherweight title and announcing he's moving up to challenge the lightweight king, Islam Makhachev.
As soon as the first punch is thrown in this fight, the title is vacated. And we will announce what Topuria's next fight will be when we get it done. So, Volkanovski versus Lopez, headlining a badass stacked card. 52 career wins between the two of them, and this should be a fun.
This decision has created a huge debate among fans, analysts, and fighters. Some people think it's an incredibly brave move, while others are questioning if Topuria has lost his mind, especially since he barely had time to enjoy being the featherweight champion. Things got even more interesting when Ilya's agent, Makhachev, fired back at Islam's manager who suggested that Topuria should fight Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira first before earning a shot at Makhachev. But
you know, I don't really come on here that much anymore. I kind of like stay to myself, but when certain managers come out there and talk about a guy's too small, shouldn't move up, needs to fight someone else, let's make sure we just get the facts straight. He knocked out Volk in his first opportunity to knock him out. The fight wasn't close. When your client fought Volk, he struggled with him the first time. Don't forget that. Second, he knocks him out, and then he knocks out Max Holloway, who happens to be probably one of the greatest 45ers of all time. I'm not sure why he doesn't deserve a shot at 155. But I don't blame you. I wouldn't want my client to fight Ilya Topuria either.
Not everyone is buying into this. Critics are saying Topuria had unfinished business at featherweight with several hungry contenders waiting for their shot. MMA analyst Luke Thomas has been particularly critical, pointing out that Topuria only defended his featherweight title once before walking away from it.
There are so many good fights for him at 145 if he was able to stay down there that I really just was like, I'm so disappointed we're not going to get him Volk 2 or Ilya versus Diego Lopez or even Movsar Evloev, who, by the way, got completely passed over in this particular regard. They went straight with Diego Lopez. Evloev is the new John Fitch if ever there was one. If ever there was a new John Fitch, which is you're really good, you're really hard to beat, you're going to have a resume with quality wins all over it, but you're not the favorite son of UFC management by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, the only way you're going to get a title shot is if you earn it the absolute elbow grease hard way that you can. And short of that, you're not going to get it. And if you lose there, it's a fucking wrap for you.
These comments have many people believing Topuria made a terrible mistake, leaving his featherweight legacy incomplete. Lots of fans are convinced that all this talk about legacy sounds fake considering Topuria has only one title defense. Though, let's be honest, his victories over Volkanovski and Max Holloway were spectacular. Daniel Cormier makes a great point though. He believes if any other champion had done the same thing, all this talk about legacy would be meaningless. DC argues that Topuria didn't just beat two legends, he knocked them out in devastating fashion.
When someone says my legacy is defined after one title defense, we would laugh at him. But how do you laugh at Topuria when he beat Alexander Volkanovski to become the world champion by knockout? Then he beats Max Holloway to defend and keep that world championship by knockout. So his process is a little bit shortened because we are all in agreement that there are three guys in consideration as the greatest featherweight of all time. He beat two in one calendar year. And that is why I believe he should have been the fighter of the year last year. Those two wins were insane in terms of 12 months.
But honestly, guys, Cormier is absolutely right. Some people might not like hearing this, but I genuinely want to see Topuria get this title shot because his fighting style is so electrifying to watch. I was recently accused of being just another Topuria fanboy, but if you've been following my past videos, you know I have tremendous respect for Khabib and Makhachev too. I'm not blindly loyal to either Topuria or Makhachev. I respect all great fighters. That's exactly why, like most of you, I'm dying to see this matchup happen. As for who would win, man, I have no idea. Makhachev is like a deadly crocodile. If he gets his hands on Topuria, it could be a serious problem for Ilya. But flip the coin. If Topuria lands one of those crazy power shots of his, he could put Makhachev to sleep in an instant. That's what makes this fight so incredibly exciting. Literally anything could happen. That's why I believe this is the perfect time for Ilya to move up to lightweight and make this super fight a reality. For the past year, all we've heard is how stagnant the lightweight division has become. The older stars just don't seem good enough to compete with Islam on equal terms anymore. Looking at the rankings, we see a really weird situation. Makhachev has already beaten Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. Justin Gaethje is coming off a loss and has a fight scheduled against Dan Hooker, who also lost to Islam. Arman Tsarukyan was a potential contender, but he missed his opportunity, and the UFC has already announced he won't get an immediate title shot. Because of all this, none of the matchups with these fighters seem ideal for Makhachev. Each potential fight has its own complications. However, Topuria has the chance to completely shake up this stale lightweight division. With his undefeated champion status and the massive hype behind him, he could skip over other contenders and set up a blockbuster super fight with Makhachev.
If it was International Fight Week for you, Javier, is that good timing to prepare for someone like Ilya Topuria?
Yeah, of course. I mean, anybody. I mean, all Islam needs is 2 months to prepare for anybody. He's not gonna care who he fights. You know, you make 155. You know, we all have the same attitude. We fight. You know, you pay us. This is who you're offering. He's not gonna say no. If that's who they offer, that's who's been worked out, is who's on the table for Islam. That's what Islam's gonna do. That's just the way he is. He's a true warrior. He's not somebody that's gonna say, no, give me somebody else. No, he's gonna fight. That's the way it is. You know, we're a champion. We're number one for a reason. We're not supposed to reject any person they throw in front of you. You know, he will do what a champion's supposed to do.
While some see this as a brilliant strategic move, others are actually accusing Topuria of being scared of Evloev and moving to lightweight just to avoid fighting him. They're saying things like, if he's really that good, let him beat Arman first and earn his shot. It would make for a bigger fight. Or, Volkanovski shouldn't be fighting so soon after that brutal KO from Makhachev. And why leave the 145th division when there are so many great opponents there? Is he really running from Movsar? But guys, here's the truth. Evloev still didn't get a title shot even after Topuria vacated the belt. Why? Because at the end of the day, the UFC is a business. All of Evloev's UFC wins have come by decision. And honestly, both the promotion and many fans aren't exactly thrilled by his fighting style. So this claim that Topuria ran away from Evloev doesn't really hold up at all. In fact, they were already scheduled to fight, but it wasn't Topuria who pulled out. It was Evloev who withdrew because of an injury. A clearly frustrated Evloev recently called out literally everyone across 2 UFC divisions, writing on social media, UFC 145, 155, or anyone.
Ilya Topuria. Now, if we just imagine that the wrestling nullifies itself, which I don't think it would. I think Islam's wrestling is probably a little bit better. But if we just say that, if we look at the striking styles, Ilya Topuria, I favour him as the boxer. Islam Makhachev, he's got some nice little kicks, just as Alexander Volkanovski, right? The problem is with Ilya Topuria, with that boxing style, he's very, very heavy on that lead leg. So you're going to look for Islam Makhachev to chip away with calf kicks, try and keep him at bay with Ilya being the shorter guy, then bring the kicks upstairs, use straight shots, then mix in the takedowns. Either way, I don't know who would win, because both of these guys are absolutely incredible, but you can bet your bottom dollar.
I heard he'd be knocking out 170 pounders, so I don't think it really matters, you know what I mean? I saw a little video clip of it, I forgot who said it, but I was like, damn, boy, savage. It's just like, once they get on top of him, and there's only a couple fighters that really does that, and he's gonna pick the right fights, you know what I mean?
What do you feel like would be the keys to defeat the champion in your weight class?
You gotta be able to nullify the wrestling and actually have good boxing, which Ilya has. Like, if you can't get up easy or like, and then be able to put the hands on him, then you're cooked. You can't just have decent stand-up. You're gonna have to be able to touch him up with the hands.
Do you give Ilya the best chance to beat Islam, or do you think there's somebody else in the division?
It's either him or Arman, at least for right now, in my opinion.
Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski is working hard to reclaim his throne, training with Aljamain Sterling ahead of his upcoming fight with Diego Lopez.
Came here and I was like, no, you're not in shape. This is shape.
He's in shape, right?
He's in really good shape right now. To be this far out and to be moving like this is unreal. Unreal. As I said in the last video, I didn't know exactly who was going to beat till not that long ago. So these decisions have just come not that long ago, with it being Lopez and Ilya moving up. So fair play to Ilya. Yeah, I'll go do my thing. Maybe we could just make a bigger fight after this. We'll see what happens. See whatever's in store for him. Let him do his thing, but I'll go win this title. Maybe we can make an even bigger rematch.
I feel like it's going to get a
Whoa, sorry, mate.
What happened? Give him a pat on the back.
Trying to strangle me, mate.
Wait, I will...
At the end of the video, I left some good news. Turns out the Earth is flat.
Dude, I'm not stupid. Let me tell you what I mean. Here is a picture of the circle of the Earth, supposedly, if you believe in a globe. And the red circle is the helicopter. When the helicopter ascends above the Earth's surface, it now has a larger flight path around the Earth. As in, when the Earth, the inside circle, the black circle, does one full rotation, the red circle, or the flight of the helicopter, actually has to cover more distance to get back to the same spot. That's what I meant, okay? If you don't understand geometry of spheres and circles, that's gonna go right over your head. But what I said makes perfect sense, and I'm actually a lot smarter than a lot of y'all think. Some of y'all can't even keep up with me. That's the sad part. This is basic geometry. Some of y'all might not be able to understand what I'm saying. But God bless you, and keep doing your own research, because there is no proof that the Earth rotates.
That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. We'd be incredibly grateful for your support.